what we're doing today is refinishing a Formica countertop to look like a granite countertop. I saw this girl do this video showing how to do this. Very simple. I'm changing just a couple of things. One of the things she said was, you don't have to sand your countertops. I've done a lot of painting. I'm not a professional painter, but I have never heard of any time when you don't have to prep your surface. So what I have already done, besides cleaning them really, really well, I went back behind and I scuffed them up with the 150 medium grit, and then took paper towel with just some water and wiped it down to get that excess dust off. So that's done. What she said to use, and what I've gotten, is the original Kills. It's a oil-based paint. I'm gonna see whether this works. Oil-based paint with acrylic colors on top. Now I think the reason that this worked for her was she put it on, she didn't let it cure. She put her acrylic on while it was still tacky and still not completely dry, and certainly not cured. Went over with the black, put in her accent colors, then went back over with the black. What we have is Craft Smart acrylic paint, just black. The other accent colors I chose, I grabbed the Martha Stewart in the titanium, Martha Stewart again in the brushed pewter, Folk Art Thicket green, Folk Art again in the mossy meadow, Martha Stewart metallic in the black nickel. So these three are in metallic. The two greens are not in metallic. I have another metallic in Martha Stewart called Sterling. And then I have the Craft Smart Pearl, just pearl. Craft Smart black base. So the white is gonna go all over everything, top, sides, and then the black we're gonna put on. And then once this is all done with the paint, it's an oil-based polyurethane that's gonna go on minimum 2 coats. I'm gonna do 3. She did 2, I'm doing 3. It's countertops, I want the durability. I've already masked off my cooktop and my sink. I use frog tape in the wide. I spend the extra couple bucks for frog tape. You'll do whatever you want, doesn't matter to me. So that's done. Now, to save money with getting bowls or plates to pour out your paint, I just took the IKEA's kids plates, wrapped them in tin foil. Now I've got 3 plates for me to dab. Show you how easy this is. Simple. Your kid can do this for you. Wrap it up. Boom, done. She also recommended, smart gal, go to the dollar store. Don't pay for the artist sponges. Go to the dollar store. Went to the dollar store. Got this. Great, now I've lost my scissors. Oh, you've got to oh. Okay, not lost my scissors. Went to the dollar store, got the sponges. Because the artist sponges are like $6, $7, $1. Got on the cruddy old paint clothes, ready to go. So what she did, she said, just cut out pieces of sponge to make a pattern. Doesn't matter what you do. Just cut out chunks. There's no wrong way to cut the sponge, apparently. So as a aside, my husband has no idea that I'm doing this. If you see a video later on entitled, "Why I Am Now Divorced," you will know. Praying to God this works. Best case scenario, this ends up looking like a granite countertop. Worst case scenario, he has to buy me a new countertop. That doesn't seem actually like a losing proposition. I think this is a win-win no matter which way. And she cut hers in half. I'm going to do the exact same thing, because one half she used for the large black, the other cut up more and used for the accent colors. Get in there, sponge. So static. Sponge will want to stick to you. Try doing a little bit of tearing. She did all cutting. I'm going to try tearing a little to give it a tiny bit of a natural kind of feel. Okay, I'm happy with that. The other thing she suggested was grabbing the cheap pack. It's got the dauber and the other sponges that you can use. This I could not find at the dollar store. She was lucky enough. She said she found hers at the dollar store. I didn't, but I found it for like $2 at the craft store. So I'm actually not going to do anything to this one just in case I need something for touch up, but the dauber, gonna just so it looks less man-made, more natural. The other thing is there's no pattern, which makes sense. The more you can make it look random, the more natural the countertop's going to end up looking. Got an extra piece of sponge. I'm not going to cut it up yet. Don't know if I do or don't need to do that. I'm going to end up one for the white, one for the polyurethane, disposable. Important, smooth, very, very smooth. None of that full nap. You want the sponge that is the smooth, smooth, smooth roller. This one says for ceilings and drywall and paintbrushes. added bonus. We're gonna start. God, I hope I don't end up divorced over this. Ooh, one last important aside. Open your windows. You will get high off this stuff. And although if you're a stay-at-home mom, that might sound like an interesting trip, don't do it. Open the windows, ventilate. But once you've got the polyurethane on, like with the ceiling fans and whatnot, you're gonna wanna shut that stuff down. Even shut down your heating or cooling, depending on what time of the year it is you're doing this. You do not want dust rotating through and falling onto the fresh polyurethane. It will make tiny little pock marks. So as dust-free as possible so that you end up with as smooth a finish as you can possibly get. Got the trays from the dollar store also, because these, I'm not doing cleanup. I'm not doing the turpentine thing. I'm tossing it in the trash when I'm done. I am that level of lazy. I will freely admit to it. Woo! Dang, I should have got them to shake that at the store before bringing it home. You want to get an even coat all over. You don't want areas where you've got blobs that are bigger, thicker than other areas. Okay, I'm gonna bag my roller for right now while I'm finishing this side before I go and do the other counter on the opposite side of the kitchen. Okay, now we're gonna use black. These are all in a matte. The ones that are metallic, obviously metallic. Satin finish for the greens, and this is just a matte black. I just dampened the sponge ever so slightly, but the roller, when you're working with the oil base, of course, you don't want to dampen that with water first, but when you're working with water-based paints, dampening your sponge just ever so slightly, and then I'm going to take up some paint as, okay, mush it up. This is what I'm doing. No actual pattern. anything I do as a mistake with the black, because it is a water-based paint, and this that I used in the kitchen was a water-based paint, I can either wipe it off right now easily, or if you don't get it off quick enough, you can at least paint back over top. Sorry, kitty. Ow, don't bite. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna start with one of my darker colors first. And that will be the black nickel. Sorry, the black nickel, I forgot. The black nickel is actually meant for the end to be a metallic on top. Okay, so the brushed pewter. Okay, while I'm letting the black and the brushed pewter dry up so that we can go ahead with third and fourth color, I'm going to go ahead and prime the other counter. So now, as you can see, I'm halfway through renovating this kitchen. I was painting the cabinetry. The house was built in 1969. And rather than gut the kitchen out, we've been refurbishing it. I got tired of painting. That's why I decided to, well, yeah, I know, I'm painting the countertops. I got tired of painting the cabinetry and decided to switch projects midstream. Yeah, I know, I should have completed the cabinets. You can yell at me in the comments, I don't care. I'm still gonna do what I'm gonna do. So after I'm done with the counters, I'm probably going to get back to finishing off the cabinets. And I tore out the backsplash. Here was just more of the white, ugly Formica that had been just shoved up. And I mean, truly, it was the thick countertop. They just put it against where the backsplash should have been. So I've pulled that out, and that's why our backsplash looks the way that it does. That'll be another project. I'll make a little video when I put the backsplash in. Gonna go with something metallic, I'm pretty sure. I forgot to tape off the fridge. Okay, brushed pewter time. Okay, so learn from my mistake. Get enough material the first time to complete the project. Guess we're going out for more paint. On some of the green thicket. Just cut your sponge till you see a pattern you like. Okay, this is just a satin finish. It's got no metallic properties. I didn't want everything to have a shimmery. I wanted some things to have a more dull to give it contrast. If you find also that you're like, oh, I put too much of something on, I covered up too much of a different color that I like, you can go back and add some more of whatever it was that you think you lost too much of. So I was able to squeeze enough out of the end of this bottle to finish. So I'm not feeling as stupid anymore. Alright, and since we're done with the black and we're done with the thicket, threw out the tin foil that they're on and moving on to new colors. So easy. No cleanup, just so easy. Alright, so next color I'm putting down is the titanium. I am kind of moving from my darkest to my lightest, and then we're going to be putting the black on top. Now I'm pretty sure that I am going to need to go get another of the Martha Stewart black nickel metallic. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is this sponge. I've decided the ones I've been using have been kind of a bit of a circular kind of pattern. This is more of a rectangular, long, just to make it different. Now I'm putting down the pearl. Yeah, I am kind of switching up. I said I was going from darkest to lightest, but I think I want to throw the pearl down before the mossy green. Okay, so went to the store, got way more of the black nickel. So I've got 2 for each side. Got more of the brushed pewter that I totally ran out of. And then more titanium. Okay, Mossy Meadow. I'm only going to use a little bit of this, but I'm going to use the big sponge. Okay. Start from one end. Okay, this is just a hint of this mossy green. So I'm tapping ever so lightly. Okay, all done with the mossy. Last one is the sterling, which is going to be an even lighter accent because it's like silver, and we really want just a hint that there's like a little silver in this. Okay, I've got like an edge just to like lines, and then a bigger so I'm going to be using this and this. Okay, well, I've got all the layers down, but I feel that it needs more of the darkest, the brushed pewter on it. So I'm gonna go over this with some of the brushed pewter, because I feel that there's just too much light going on and that we've lost too much of the dark. That dark pewter, especially on the sides, I think we've just lost too much of it. So I'm not going to do a whole lot of it. I'm just adding back a little bit, just a little bit. So got all the paint on this one. I've just got to finish doing the same thing over there. And then tomorrow, after this has had all night to dry and such, we are going to go ahead and put the polyurethane on. Hey y'all, we're back. This dried overnight, and as you can see, after I took the tape off, we've got some imperfections with too much white showing along the edges and along the edges, along the back and around the sink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up, I got a small of that big matte black that I used to dab on top. I got a small one, so we can use some of that. And then just, I'm not using every single one of the colors, but I'm gonna use a few of them to go around the edge, finish it, and then we're gonna put the polyurethane. that are planned for the kids to be out of the house. Here, put your pants on. Put your pants on. Put your pants on. Okay. That's rolling. I'm gonna edit you out. But I gotta get going. Get them outside. I need to do the polyurethane.
The water's heated up.
Well, get out of my video. Alright, you're in it. You're in my video now. You're in my video. Okay, so I'm gonna wait until the children are out of the house in the backyard and we'll do the polyurethane. Okay, got the kids outside, can finally go ahead with the polyurethane. So this is oil-based, fast-drying polyurethane. The directions say specifically do not shake, stir often. The other thing that I know, but I'm gonna reiterate, because in the other video she had put on 2 coats. I'm gonna do 3, but the one thing that was missing, critical directions, is this takes 24 hours to cure, but if you want to do more than 1 coat, which is recommended, you need to, after 3 to 4 hours, come back over it with 220 grit sandpaper and lightly go over it. Clear off any dust, and then you can go ahead with your next coat, because you need that scuffing up to create adhesion between your layers. If you want to do a 3rd coat, which is what I'm going to do, 3-4 hours after that, same process, lightly go ahead and do up the 3rd coat. So I'm going to open this up. I've got the windows open. I'm expecting this to be worse than what the oil-based paint smelled like, and that's also why I had to make sure that the kids were absolutely outside. Yep, they aren't joking. It's got a nastier smell. So I'm just giving it a light stir up. It says you want to bring what's at the bottom up. So when my husband got home last night, I'm not getting divorced. He's actually really impressed. But it was kind of funny because he got home. I was hoping I was going to get the polyurethane on so that it'd be really dazzling, but I didn't. But I met him at the door and I said to him, "Oh, don't be upset. Would you want to kill me if I told you that we had new countertops put in today?" Comes around the corner, sees this, is totally fooled. Oh, you want to make sure that there's no dust in your paint tray. Comes around the corner, is totally fooled, is looking at this, and just starts repeating the word, how, 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 and finally gets out the sentence, how am I gonna pay for this? And that's an accountant for you. So I'm just letting that soak up as much as it wants. Again, I did not, because this is oil-based, I did not dampen the sponge. I'm going to start at this end. It says apply a thin first coat. Okay, it's been about 3.5 hours. I've got 220 grit sandpaper. Gonna lightly sand this and then wipe off and then start with our second coat. So this is 3 coats of polyurethane. We did it last night. Did the same procedure between the first and second coat as the second and third. 220 grit sandpaper. The product says let it cure for 24 hours. We're doing what the product says. So it won't be until about 11 o'clock tonight that I'll be able to actually run my dishwasher. So thus the little bit of a pile up in the sink because I haven't been able to use the dishwasher because the steam is going to ruin my finish. So if there's any questions, go ahead, put it in the comments. Next video, watch for doing the backsplash. Can't wait to get onto that. I'm really excited about the kitchen. I'll have the painting done and then we're going to hit the floors. So thank you to the gal in Alabama who started me on this journey with her little video. So I guess I have to say to her, roll Tide. Just to wrap up, wanted to give everybody a closer look. I know the camera was a little bit far away to be able to have a good look at how this came out. Here's what the finished look is. That polyurethane really gave it a nice shell.